Well, as promised, let's talk about the big stock that will be in focus today, and that one is HCL Tech, as the company has acquired select IBM software products for close to 12 to 13,000 crore rupees. And this is the largest ever acquisition by an Indian IT company. Kritika Saxena joins in early this morning with all these details. Kritika, good morning. Tell us more.
Morning, guys. So essentially, this is 7 products of IBM's product software business that are going to be integrated and that are going to be acquired by HCL Tech. 5 of these products are already on board with HCL Tech in the form of an IP partnership. So what they've done is they've taken it one step ahead and acquired 7 of these products altogether. Now, to give you an idea about the valuation, essentially the valuation is $1.775 million. So that's about $1.7 billion roughly, but they've rounded off and talked about $1.8 billion in case there are any forex changes over the last couple of years. The deal is going to last couple of quarters. The deal is going to close by mid-2017. So approximately June, July being the highest and the longest waiting period is the amount that they've given, is the timeline that they've given for 2019. Now, in terms of the funding and how this will work, of this $1.775 billion, 50% of the deal value is going to be paid at close, and the remaining is going to be paid after 1 year of the deal closing. Largely, this is going to be done through internal accruals. Remember, the company has about $1.5 billion roughly in terms of cash. So that entire amount is going to be going into this deal. And the remaining of $300 million is going to be taken in the form of US debt. Now, what we also understand over here is that in case they actually get the cash by that point in time, if they have availability to break in bonds, they may actually not require that $300 million debt figure, but that will depend on when the deal closes. What does this mean for the company? This gives them access into a $5 billion revenue pie. They get access to a $50 billion revenue pie, sorry. They get access to almost 5,000 clients. Now, the exact employees that will be coming on board is very unclear, because that may change, and that is going to be slightly subjective, and that will be discussed based on regulatory approvals. But of course, that will be clear in the days to come. Stock may be slightly concerned about this, but the management justifies that they will be able to bring in revenues by 2019, 2020, and they expect $650 million of annual revenue to come in after the deal closes. So that is how they justify the value.
All right, Kritika, thanks a lot for that. Remember, you can catch the management speaking to CNBC TV 18 at 8:15 today. All right, Punjab National Bank's yet another attempt to sell its stake in PNB Housing Finance has received interest from the private equity players. Strategics stay away as Carlyle has backed out from the sale process. Nisha Podar gets us all these exclusive details.
It's a large transaction. This is the second time round that PNB is making an attempt to sell its stake in PNB Housing Finance, which is about 33% And we do gather from sources with direct knowledge that some of the private equity players, the marquee ones, have shown interest in buying out PNB's stake in PNB Housing Finance. We do gather that Blackstone is very interested, and also, surprise, surprise, Carlyle's another fund, which is not presently invested in PNB Housing Finance, is also the interested party amongst a few other private equity players which may be in the race. Now, we do gather that strategic players like Kotak Mahindra Bank as well as HDFC Limited have stayed away from participating in this transaction. Now, what's on offer is just PNB's stake in PNB Housing Finance, which is about 33%. And this time, Carlyle is not participating in jointly selling its stake, which owns about 32% stake. And another fund of Carlyle is in the race. So that's an important area to really look at in this particular transaction. It will trigger an open offer for other shareholders to tender in for 26% odd stake. And that's one of the big reasons why strategic players have really not participated, because the merger process of the company, if a complete buyout has to happen, may not be as easy, because the other player, Carlyle, other shareholder, is not really selling stake at this point. So this is what we gather from sources with direct knowledge. At the moment, private equity players in the race for buying out PNB's stake in PNB Housing Finance could be worth about 5,000 odd crore rupees.